Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. Today I have something a little bit different. There was a request made to show off some Klingon ships and some maybe lower budget builds so that we could take a look at that alongside the Klingon Recruit playthrough that I've been doing. So we're going to go ahead and do that today, and I want to show you kind of what I have going on with that. So today we're going to take a look at one ship in particular. Let's go into the game. And here we have the Negh'Var. The Negh'Var, as of Deep Space Nine, the series, is the flagship of the Klingon Empire. And I believe when we first saw the Negh'Var, we saw it being captained by General Martok, I believe. So anyways, it's pretty cool to see this ship. We got like a different variant of this in All Good Things, which is the final episodes of the Next Generation. They're a little bit different. I don't think they had these kind of whatever these are, the weapons pods down here at the bottom. But overall the look was pretty much the same. So let me just show you this build real quick. It's nothing too crazy. In fact, most of the things you get from mission drops that I have equipped on this ship. Now it is a tier 6 ship, so it does cost money in that, you know, you have to buy it from the I was going to say C store because that's what it used to be, the Zen store. And actually, let's take a look at that real quick. Let's go up here to the Zen store and we go to ships. And this is my main account, by the way. So I have a lot more ships on this one than on my free to play that I'm doing the Klingon Recruit series on. So here we go. We have the Negh'Var heavy battle cruiser. This is basically the tier 6 version of the Negh'Var in the game. So you could have this skin that you see right there. You can see it, right? Hopefully you can. Let me open a little bit bigger. So yeah, you could have that look, or you could have the look that we currently have, which is the Negh'Var. And there it is. I don't know why the Negh'Var has that weird, y'all see that? It's like a weird halo ball thing in the middle. That stinks. Oh well. But this is the ship, the Negh'Var, that we see in Deep Space Nine, the flagship of the Klingon Empire at that time. So very cool looking. It does look menacing. It does look like a warship, very armored looking and imposing. So that's the ship that we're going to be playing around with today. So let me show you again what I have as far as weapons and consoles and things like that. Again, most of these things are from mission drops. There's a couple, I think, of beam arrays that are crafted, but other than that, everything else is from mission drops. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll put in the description down below, I'll put the missions that you can find these items on so that you guys could just look at kind of a little bit of a write-up in the description, and you don't have to just hear me talk about it all day long. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We got the Nausicaan Energy Torpedo Launcher. We have the Nausicaan Disruptor Beam Array in the front. We have dual beam banks. We have the Resonant Disruptor Beam Array. For the rear weapons, we have 3 regular Disruptor Beam Arrays. And then we have House Martok Omni Directional Disruptor Beam. Now, if you notice, none of these weapons are above a Mark 12. Because, again, we're trying to do as low budget as possible. In order to get weapons from Mark 12 to Mark 15s, it takes a lot of resources, actually, because you do have to upgrade them with those Phoenix upgrade token things and Phoenix box upgrade tokens for your weapons and things like that. And it costs a lot of dilithium, so just we're trying to make it as friendly as possible and see what, you know, budget friendly as possible and see what we can do and see what we get away with in this game. So we're leaving everything at Mark 12. This one just happened to be an ultra rare Mark 12. It's because I already had this one laying around, and just for the sake of this video, I didn't want to go through another mission twice. I actually went through one mission just to get this Disruptor Beam Array right here, but this is a crafted weapon that I already had, and this other one was a crafted weapon that I already had, and I didn't want to do that mission 3 times for the purposes of this video. But you can. You can get these just from missions if you don't have your R&D up yet and you can't craft them on your own, that kind of thing. Just know that you can get them from missions, all right? Let's take a look at the deflector. We have the Bajoran Defense Deflector Array. We have the Bajoran Defense Hyper Impulse Engine. For the Warp Core, we have the Preeminence Warp Core. From the shields, we have the Regenerative Crystal Shield Matrix. Then engineering consoles, we have Polaric Modulator, Reinforced Armaments. We have Trellium Deplating, House Martok Defensive Configuration Console. Science console, we have the PAX Nanite Reinforced Circuitry. This is not from a mission. This I got as a drop from leveling up my Discovery reputation. So just be aware that that one, I mean, it's just, I needed something for that slot, and that one had already dropped, so I went ahead and I just put it on there. I liked it because, one, you can actually craft a nanite reinforced circuitry console. However, it's not going to have the plus 9.4 hull capacity. And so that's just a nice little bonus to my hull capacity, and I decided to go ahead and put that on there. This could drop for you as you're also leveling up your Discovery reputation, but just be aware you don't really need it. And if you wanted something similar, then you could just craft one. It just won't have the plus 9.4 hull capacity. You have the temporarily shielded data core as the next science console. Then we have the Nausicaan siphon capacitor. And then under the tactical console slots, we have 3 of these Disruptor induction coils. So let's take a closer look at each of these items real quick, just so that you can kind of understand my thinking behind it. So I got the Nausicaan 3-piece set. The Nausicaan 3-piece set is this Nausicaan energy torpedo, the Nausicaan disruptor beam array, and this Nausicaan siphon capacitor. So first thing is, I wanted a disruptor build, just kind of keep on theme with, you know, a Klingon ship. And but this 3-piece is actually really nice, and let me show that to you. If I right click and I go more details and scroll down a little bit, you'll see that that you have a set of weapons, right, that gives you extra abilities. So at the 2 set, so let's say that I just had the torpedo and the beam array, but not the console, right? Or any variation of those 2. Of those 3 things, but 2 of them, right? Then if I just had a 2-piece set, I would gain 821.5 disruptor damage for every second for 5 seconds for disruptor net. And also, oh well, basically that's it. So the disruptor net is basically kind of envelops a ship. I don't know if we'll see it during this run. I'm going to show you a run, by the way, with the ship so you can see what it does. But basically, it kind of encompasses a ship. It looks like a little bit like a web, kind of like the Tholium was, but not really. It'll be green. It'll go around. And if it does give off a net to your enemy, then that net is going to give them 821.5 disruptor damage every second for 5 seconds total. So it's kind of nice to have. But the 3-piece is even nicer. 3-piece will give me a 28.5% disruptor damage and a plus 50 to starship hull penetration. So once the enemy's shields are down, this set, when it's hitting the enemy, is going to give me a plus 50 starship hull penetration with my weapons, which is great. So you'll be able to kill off the enemy a lot faster. And in addition, it gives me also this plus 28.5 disruptor damage. So it's almost like I'm getting an extra tactical console on my ship, a disruptor induction coil. It's like I get an extra one right here. Even though I don't have one, I kind of do because I have this 3-piece right here. And it's very close because these give off plus 30% and that set gives plus 28. So it's only a bit smaller as far as the amount of disruptor damage it's giving to my ship. So I think that's fantastic. It's like having an extra console. So that's really cool. Now I want to show you this Martok 2-piece set. And the 2-piece set I have because having both of these things, both this omnidirectional disruptor and the console, it gives me a plus 2.5 to critical chance and a plus 15 to accuracy for my weapons. So that is also very nice to have. Plus having a omnidirectional beam array is always welcomed on a ship. So very cool. And well, on a beam array ship, right? And that's nice to have for the 2-piece. Now the deflector and the impulse engine, We have a two-piece here too, and both are from the Bajoran Defense set. And by having two pieces, this actually adds to my weapons damage as well. In fact, it gives a plus 19 to disruptor damage. So not quite at the level of these disruptor induction coils or of the Nausicaan set, but still not bad. It's a plus 20, right? Well, guess what? There's something else that gives me a plus 20 to my disruptor damage, and that is just this Nausicaan siphon capacitor by itself. So this console by itself already gives me a plus 20 to disruptor damage. So if you think about it, this console plus the combination of these two things, the Deflector and the Impulse Engine from the Bajoran set, are giving me a plus 40 total of disruptor damage. So there you go. It's like I have another console right here that is doing damage. So it's almost like I have two more of these on this ship, which is kind of nice. So let's take a look at this Resonant Disruptor Beam, because this is a little bit different too. This one actually has the ability to do some armor penetration or shield penetration. So that's nice to have, and it'll add some physical damage as it's being shot off. So this is a little bit of a jarring look because it's a little bit different of an array. It's not green like the others, and it sounds different, and it's just, you know, a little bit of a different vibe, but I just couldn't leave it out from this ship, even though I'm trying to make it kind of more of a theme build. But still, it's pretty good, especially at the low end. It's nice to have, and I need this on my ship. All right, so that's everything that I have. Again, I'll show you where you can find these things, but there's a purpose for all of these. And for me, this is some of the best consoles that you can get from mission drops. So that's why they are here on this ship. Like some of these consoles, they help my ship have a better turn radius, or turn speed rather, sorry. So for example, this polaric modulator, it's there because it gives me a plus 20 to my flight turn rate. And this is kind of a slow ship because it's a big ship. And then the House Martok defensive configuration is also there partially for that plus 16 flight turn rate, but also to complete that 2 set that I was talking about earlier, and some of the other goodies that it brings. So, and then some of these consoles are just here purely to help me survive better. So yeah, you can look through those yourselves. They'll be in the description down below again. And if you want like really deep information on them, then definitely copy the names of these items and go ahead and put them into the Stow Wiki, and by stowwiki.net is the new one. And so you'll be able to see basically a little bit more detail on each and every single one of them if you want to go into it a little bit deeper. All right, so let's go and take a look at my skills. I'm actually going to make this window a little bit bigger so you guys could see it. This is what I currently have as far as my skill tree for space. Feel free to take a screenshot at this moment. I'm going to leave it up for a little bit longer, and that way you could see where I've put my points into. Maybe that'll be helpful to some of you. All right, next let's take a look at the specializations. Right now I'm currently running Intel and Strategist, and I haven't even completed my Intel, y'all. Look at this, it's not even completed. So what I'm going to show you, whatever damage I'm going to get out of this ship, this really is budget. Like, I haven't even completed this. I don't have a ton put into even my reputations. As you could tell, I don't really have a lot of reputation stuff on my ship either, you know, any of those consoles, except maybe one that I got as a drop. But other than that, there's nothing else on there from the reputations. Let's take a look at Strategist. Strategist, I have no points in yet, so really I'm still working on just the Intel. So not a lot there. Let's go to traits. All right, so let me show you what I have under personal space traits. So as you can see, I have 2 slots here that I'm not using because usually this is the amount of slots that you're going to get on a free-to-play account. And if you're not in a fleet, you're not going to get that last one. And if you don't have an elite captain, you won't get this other one underneath it either. So this is about what most people are getting as far as space trait slots. So the first one I have is Beam Training, is the first that I have. It gives +5 bonus to weapons damage. Next I have Bulkhead Technician, which gives me a +10 to maximum hull points. Then I have Efficient Captain, which gives me Basically, it adds power levels at low settings to shields, engines, and auxiliary. Elusive, it gives me a +10 defense rating. And then Fleet Coordinator, which adds a +2 bonus all damage to my ship. Next, I have Innocuous. Innocuous is minus threat and +2 critical severity, so +5 to critical severity and -25% threat generation, which is nice. Operative, which gives a +2 crit chance and to critical severity, specifically a +1% to critical chance and a +2% to critical severity. And then Projectile Training, which is a +5 bonus projectile weapons damage, so that my projectiles could do a little bit better. Although I don't know that this applies to my energy torpedo, so because I don't think it acts as a regular torpedo, but maybe it does. I don't know. Let me know in the comment below if you know more about that than I do. Techie, we have here is a +20 to Starship Hull Restoration and a +20 to Starship Damage Control. And that's what we have. Those are the things that I've chosen. As you can see, I have Boimler effect, but I'm not using it. Again, we're talking very low-end budget for this ship, so Boimler is not cheap on the exchange, and it also the only other way you get is by using low buy crystals, so it's not cheap. Let's take a look at the Starship traits. I'm using free ones, basically ones that I just can get for either from a mission drop or from doing the intel, in this case the intel specialization that I've been working on. So I have the best defense. This is from a mission called House Pech, so you get that from that mission. And basically my attack pattern grants me whole healing buff along with the normal effects. So it'll add a +25 to whole healing, which is nice for survivability. So this procs off of attack pattern beta, but it does not proc out of attack pattern alpha. So you need to have beta on your bridge officers to be able to go ahead and take advantage of this. So I do have attack pattern beta, so that'll go ahead and every time I hit this ability, it'll give me, you know, the -30 all damage resistance rating and to the enemy and the -120 stealth for the enemy. Plus it'll also give me a +25 to whole healing, so that's nice to have. Next we have the predictive algorithms. The predictive algorithms, again, this comes from me putting points into the intel officer specialization, and along with that I get this trait, Starship trait, and basically it's accuracy buff from weapons buffs. So every time I hit a basically like this, like a fire at will or an torpedo spread, things like that, I'll be able to get better accuracy to my weapons by having this slotted here. Next, I have the Hunter's Instincts. This comes from having a Klingon Recruit character. This is my Klingon Recruit character for my main account, and so I was able to get this Hunter's Instincts, and basically this is for 10 seconds after a kill, cloaking will placate foes. Weapon attacks during the ambush effects are awarded by leaving cloak, and it reduces foes' damage resistance by 10% for 15 seconds. So it helps my enemy resist my attacks less well. Therefore, I could take them out a little bit better after cloaking. So that's nice to have. Space Reputation. Let me show you what I have so far. As you can see, I don't have a lot. This is it. This is all I have right here because I haven't really leveled them up that much. So currently, what I have available to me is Advanced Hull Reinforcement, and then Advanced Targeting Systems, which gives me critical severity. I got Ship's Weapons, Armor Penetration, the Enhanced Armor Penetration, and I have Precision. So this isn't necessarily ideal, but it's what I have currently. So that's what I'm using. All right, let's take a look at the Bridge Officer Station so y'all can see what I have there. So I have basically 2 tactical. One's an ensign, and on that one I have Fire at Will 1. Then my Lieutenant Commander tactical, I have Torpedo Spread 1, Attack Pattern Beta 1, and Fire at Will 3. Now Fire at Will 3 you cannot get from the... I happen to have it, but you can't get this from the vendor. in Earth space stock or in Kronos or anything like that. I think the bridge officer ability vendor or whatever will only give you up to Beamfire at will 2. So this one is crafted by people. You can find this on exchange usually for around, I think I got this one for maybe 200,000 energy credits. So it's not that much really, because if you do a tour of the galaxy, you're going to get, it depends on how well you do on Tour of the Galaxy, but Tour of the Galaxy can net you close to 1 million, if not a little over 1 million energy credits. So, but minimum, I think I've never gotten less than, for Tour of the Galaxy, less than about 200,000, I believe. So do a Tour of the Galaxy, maybe 1, maybe 2 days, and you'll have enough energy credits to be able to buy this off the exchange, assuming that the price is around the same. So that's how I got mine. And let's see what we have here for the engineer slot. So we have a commander engineer, and right here we have emergency power to engines. This is good because I do have a duty officer that can basically, when I hit emergency power to engines, it'll reset the timer on evasive maneuvers. So I could use evasive maneuvers a lot more often. So this being a kind of a slower ship, it's nice to have that extra maneuverability. Next, I have the auxiliary power to structural integrity field. It's basically a healing, whole healing ability. Then directed energy modulation. Directed energy modulation gives it plus 7.5 to energy, weapons, shield penetration, and armor penetration. So that's nice to have. Next, aceton beam. This just happened to be on my character already, so it is what it is. It's basically doing radiation damage. I don't really use it much, but it's there. So for my Lieutenant Commander Engineering, as you can see, this is a command station, but I'm not actually using command abilities, simply because you may not have access to those abilities yet, and it does cost a little bit to kind of get started into that. Not a lot, just a little bit. So I just didn't use them. So I have reverse shield polarity, and this you can get from the regular bridge training officer. So that's reverse shield polarity 2, not 3. You can get A3, but off the exchange. Then emergency power to weapons 2 and emergency power to shields. Actually, yeah, that's all I got. So the two important ones here really are the emergency power to weapons 2, because it'll add a plus 13 to bonus energy weapons damage, and a plus 30 to weapons power setting for 30 seconds. So that's nice to have. And then the reverse shield polarity is basically a survival kind of ability. So it will give you basically your shield's immunity for a little bit. Under science, I only have two slots here. So there's only really 2 options for me. One's hazard emitters. That way I could clear any hazards that have been put on my ship. Like, for example, if I've been hit by a plasma torpedo, something like that, and my hull's burning, then you're going to want hazard emitters. The next thing is photonic officer. That's for cooldowns. And that's really the only real cooldown I have on this ship. So as you'll see, my bridge officer abilities are not going to recharge very quickly, unfortunately. But that's just kind of some of the trade-offs that I'm making right now with this low budget, because I don't have those duty officer, the technician duty officers that you could use with the what's it called? I cannot remember the name of it, but auxiliary to battery. So if you use auxiliary to battery for cooldowns, you really need those duty officers, and well, they're not cheap on the exchange. They actually cost quite a bit of money, and in order to get 3 of them, you'd have to do this. Which nebula is it? I can't remember. If y'all remember, put it down below. But there's like a nebula you have to go through, and you got to do your duty officer missions, and then eventually you'll be able to get maybe 1 of them, but it doesn't always work out. So getting those technician duty officers isn't exactly super easy. I know everybody talks about this is the cheap way to do it, cooldowns, but honestly, technician duty officers on the exchange are pretty expensive, especially if you're looking for not the very rare, but the ultra rare ones. You can get very rare ones, or I'm sorry, not ultra rare. they're very rare is the top end, and then you get the rare ones, which are a little bit cheaper. But either one of those, whether it's the rare or the very rare, they're pretty expensive on the exchange. So it's just more money, right? So cooldowns is one of those things that just save your money, get Boimler. That's the way I would do it. I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily worth it to do technicians, duty officer technicians, because you kind of need 3 of them to really help you out. So anyways, for now, I don't even have those duty officers, so that's why I'm just using photonic officer as a cooldown there. Ooh, so that's a lot of information. I hope y'all are still with me and following along. But yeah, this is my build for this ship. I think I showed everything. If I missed anything, I do apologize. Leave it in the comment down below, and I'll leave a comment letting you know the answer to whatever it was that I missed. But that's what I have, and you know, I'm gonna take the ship into a patrol, and I'm just gonna do it on the normal difficulty, because most people who are playing budget are gonna be under normal difficulty. And then I'm gonna go to a little bit more of a challenging mission, just to kind of really put it through its paces. I know most people like to do the Delta Quadrant patrol called Wanted, but it's one of the easier ones, really, and yeah, it is cool to have. It's nice to be able to do that, but I want to put this through its paces a little bit more, so I'm going to do something a little bit more challenging, and that is under Age of Discovery, the patrol mission called the 9th Rule. So let's go ahead and launch that real quick, and we're just going to go straight into it.
Looks like there was a fight here recently. I'm not...
Good week off. Take.
The Carter is ready to assist you.
I'm just going right through it because I don't
Lead the way, and the Shurgat will follow.
want to listen to all of it.
Reading a single Ferengi vessel, Marauder class. They've decloaked.
So yeah, it's a really nice ship. It is definitely menacing looking. I like the way that the sun is kind of hitting off of the hull here. It's a big ship. It's a pretty big ship. It's a little bit bulky. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get this mission on the road. I'm gonna actually hit on this weapon system efficiency ability. It does have these, this ship has these captain abilities, so that's nice to have. As you can see, I do have my weapons power all the way up.
I made myself leave enough of their ships for salvage. I'll be under cloak.
I don't know how he convinced the Marine to join in, but he did.
So it looks like they have like a bunch of tractor beams on me. Let's see if I can get away from them a little bit more. Again, this is on normal level. I do have a little bit of an assist from these other 2 ships. I really don't like these guys. The brain like using the tractor beams. You see that kind of purple beam that's coming out of my ship? That's the one that I was telling you about. It's a little jarring. It's a little bit different. What's it called again? The radiant? Yeah. The resonant disruptor beam.
Good news.
So, alright, so far we haven't died. Again, we're getting a little bit of an assist from these 2 ships, but it's not like all that much, I don't think.
The spores, Madron. Hand them over.
Alright, now we have the Gorn.
You treacherous. worse by the minute.
I won't tell the Gorn you have the spores if you don't.
Right shield's failing. 4 shields failing.
Alright. You took them out okay. Didn't take too much, but now the good stuff's gonna start.
Then
So once we take Modron over here, we're gonna have just wave upon wave of ships coming at us.
oh, I'll throw in the legendary Tox Utat. Do we have a deal?
Alright, I'm gonna
Affirming.
go ahead and cloak. See if I can get any ambush kills.
When I'm done here, I'll feed your corpses to my hatchling.
Alright, you see that green over here? That was that Nausicaan web. So that green ball that was around that one ship. Oh, snap. I'm in a little bit of distress here. By the way, I'm not the best pilot here, but oh man, I'm about to die. Let me try to get out of here where I can. Let me use this Kethy shield capacitor. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. I don't know. Ow! Embarrassing, y'all. I think what happened is I got too close to a lot of them. I think I need to be hitting them from the fringes a little bit more. But hey, this is reality here. On a kind of a budget ship, you might blow up a little bit more. I was doing okay damage, but then I got swarmed. When you get swarmed in this game, you need to have a lot of good survivability. Even at the normal level. Go figure. That's one thing about this game I will say. Normal level is not something that you can just blow through on this game. They do make it a little bit more challenging for you. I know you don't hear that sentiment a lot because most of the videos that you see are from people who know how to build ships. People who do high-end stuff. But this game can be very challenging at normal level to people who are just starting to play the game. Alright, let's get this last one over here. See if I can make it over there before they blow it up. Nope, they blew it up.
Well fought indeed. They'll think Modron's on his way to a Federation home.
Alright, let me get some fleet marks here. So yeah, there you go. That was a real life patrol mission. Again, I wanted to do this one because you get swarm upon swarm of ships coming at you, and it gives you a little bit more of a challenge. It really puts this ship more through its paces than maybe some of the other patrols do. So I hope that this was fun for y'all to watch, especially me blowing up part, but hopefully it gives you kind of an idea of what you could expect from a ship build kind of like this. And you might do better. You might be a better pilot. You might be a better tactician when it comes to figuring out where to position your ship on the map so that you don't get swarmed over like I did. But it does decently well. I mean, it really does. Even just at this, these are level 12 or Mark 12 weapons. Most of these are just the very rare. These are mission drop stuff, like items. So really, you don't really spend any money on this except for the ship. Yeah, no money at all except for the ships, really. And before anybody cries foul on anything else, let me show you my endeavors too. My endeavor rank is 35. So that's not very high. I mean, I do have, 18 points into critical severity, 2 into critical chance, some points into energy weapon, max hull. So this helps me out somewhat right here. The space stuff that you see right here does help me out, but I'm not like a super high rank when it comes to the endeavors. So, this is very attainable for most people, in my opinion. So if you have any questions about the build, please let me know down below, and I'll be happy to go ahead and respond to your questions. I also have a Discord, and the link to that is down below. Feel free to hit me up on that if you have further questions on how to build ships, especially here at the lower levels. So I hope this has been fun, informational for you as well, and I hope it helps somebody out. So until next time, live long and prosper. Thanks so much for watching this video, and yeah, we'll see you later. Take care.